open the Police Commission meeting for June 17th. Minutes from previous meetings. So how about the May 20th minutes? Any additions, corrections there?
Not here.
Not, I didn't have any either. All right, motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Shikiva, second? Yes,
Yep,
I heard
I
a
approve.
second there. All those in favor? Aye. All right.
Aye.
Minutes from the special of May 14th.
Jennifer, do you need me to sign these and give you a signature?
I believe eventually you should go to the town clerk and sign as many as she has in her book, which should be, I don't know the last time you've gone. You just started recently as secretary, so you probably don't have too many, but you should probably check in, maybe quarterly with her,
Oh, okay.
and sign them, whatever she has in her book.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, on the May 14th
Okay.
minutes, it said that we started it at 9 a.m. and ended at like 9:35, but we interviewed two people. Didn't we start at like 7:30 or something, or 8? It just,
Yeah.
the time just, we couldn't have interviewed two people in 30 minutes, 35 minutes.
We had two different sessions. We stopped and then we came back.
I'll
Okay.
double check. It was a 9 o'clock meeting. I know it didn't go too long because I think we had to be off by 10, but I'll double check it.
Then
We
there
did have
might
one that
be another.
started at 9:30. 7:30.
Yeah, I think it was a 7:30. I think we had a piece before this where we had one officer from Vermont and then another junior person. So
Yeah, but I thought it was a 9
this-
o'clock meeting, but I'll double check it. It wasn't a
okay.
7 o'clock.
You
Because
know
we
what it
intentionally
was?
didn't.
It was two pieces, so we need another piece just to be.
I'll double check it.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
so
a
we
9
did-
a.m. meeting.
Okay. All right. So all those in favor of this being correct? Correct.
With that caveat that it'll be checked.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'll just, that was the only change was the time.
Yeah, my recollection, by the way, is that we had the meeting, we interviewed the first candidate, and then we had a time gap of 20 minutes,
Time
half
out.
hour. Then we came
And
back
then we
for a
started.
second session
Okay,
to interview the second.
okay, I gotcha.
Right. If you just change that to 7:30 or whatever, then it takes care of all that. Okay, great. And then the other meeting, the May 15th meeting was fine. I didn't see anything there.
Yeah, it looks fine to me.
So motion to approve?
So moved.
Yes. Okay, Shikiva, second.
Yep.
Okay, and all those in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, let's go into, instead of the monthly reports, if we could go into art in the windows pop-up event
Okay.
with Tucker.
Yep. Thank you all.
Hi,
For,
Tucker.
hi, everybody. Thanks for having us on the agenda. I have Hillary Whitman with me here. She is the executive director at the Carriage Barn. This is a partnership that's been going on, gosh, I think for decades. I mean, as long as I've been in the world.
14 years.
How many?
This is the 14th year.
14th year.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. Great.
Long time. You'll notice there's 50 local artists who have their artwork in all of the windows that Hillary organizes and gets them all involved and that kind of thing. What we were hoping to do this year, because as you know, this year, everything that all of these sort of big events that every nonprofit has been trying to have has unfortunately been curtailed. We were hoping to have a sort of wrap-up event as part of this. And Hillary can talk to you a little bit more about it, but the area that we're talking about is what you all would know as the pop-up park. This would be on a Thursday evening from 5 to 7. Most of the stores will be closed or closing, although we're hoping that most of the stores will be involved, the ones that have the art in their windows. So I'm going to let Hillary just give you sort of a quick lowdown on that, and then we can take any questions and talk about logistics and that kind of thing.
Okay. Thanks, Hillary.
Yeah, in the past we've done sort of the kickoff event and when we begin art in the windows, and which has been really great just in sort of getting a lot of attention and awareness of it right off the bat. But the timing just was not ideal for that this year because the stores were really just starting to reopen when we started this. So that's why we're hoping to move it to the closing. And what we've done in the past is we've invited the stores that are participating, as well as like some of the wine stores or restaurants, to stay open late and have a little reception. And we put a program together of everything that's happening. And the artists who are exhibiting come and participate, and others just come out and sort of walk up and down Elm Street and Main Street. And again, you know, we have a printed program, and they go around and check everything out. And we've done sort of scavenger hunts to involve families. But this year we're hoping to, I'm not really sure yet, you know, whether stores really will be able to do things in their store or outside of the store, which is why Tucker and I discussed, you know, having this outdoor area kind of centrally located where we can have like a hub where people can come kind of check in, get their program or map of what's going on, and then, you know, go throughout town and shop or stay for dinner or whatever. So we have some ideas. Our board is very excited to, you know, if we get the go ahead to do this, to be involved and help organize some activities there. We've been working with the New Canaan Land Trust as well on this New Canaan Sculpture Trail. So it'd be a great opportunity to promote that, which is going on throughout New Canaan right now.
Okay.
But, you know, we're very mindful of, you know, crowding and, you know, we don't want to create a situation that's unsafe at all. So this is not something we're going to like, you know, look to draw, you know, huge crowds to. It would really be just our community.
Right. Okay.
This is more of an awareness raiser for the Carriage Barn, more so than a fundraiser.
Okay, and you just need it for that one date, the Thursday, the 2nd?
Yes,
With
and the only,
the rain date, the 3rd?
right, the only change I would make,
Go ahead.
can you hear me? Sorry. The only change I would make is that we have it, we asked for the permission from 5 to 7, but we'll probably need to close it at 4.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you think 4, 3, how much time do you think you need to set
Well,
it
how
up?
much time, how much time do you need to set up? Because I think 5 to 7 just is too tight and it doesn't allow you to set
Right.
up and take.
What do you think,
So-
Larry? Do you think, how much time do you think you would need on the setup?
I think an hour would be
Okay,
fine.
that's what I was thinking too. So maybe 4 to 8 in terms of the minutes and the vote, I would think, because we need to break down and clean up as well.
Okay.
Hey, Tucker, I have a question and a suggestion.
Sure.
Who takes care of special events, insurance and all that stuff with the town? Do you do that or?
Yeah, so we go through all of our events. We go through Tom Stadler and we provide whatever documentation he needs. So the Carriage Barn would do that on this one.
Great. And we can provide you a couple hundred masks. So maybe if you want to hand them out there,
Absolutely.
encourage people to wear masks if they don't have them, et cetera.
And
et cetera.
everybody's, you know, the stores are all being really great. I know we have, you know, some issues with people wanting to wear them downtown outside, but in the stores, everybody's been compliant. We haven't had any issues that way. And
Right.
we'll push that.
Good. Okay, we'll get those masks to you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Shikaiba, any questions?
Nope, I don't have any questions. I'm really excited
Okay.
because this is one of the things I look forward to every year, Hillary. Well done.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, this would be I think it would be great, and we'd love to, you know, if it's successful, it'd be great to continue to do it every year. Do you think there would be a need? I mean, I don't know the square footage space of that pop-up park, but, you know, if there would be a need to sort of limit the number of people within that area, could you tell us what that number would be? I mean, again, I don't anticipate that being an issue, but.
I don't know. I mean, I can get you the actual dimensions,
Okay.
but I think we're going to maintain the social distancing at all times. And I think the way you and I talked about it, it's really going to be people moving in and out. It's not everybody arriving at the same time and staying at the same time. So I think we'll just, all of us down there as organizers, will use our best judgment.
Yeah.
Right.
And making sure that people move along.
Okay.
And Jim, any questions?
No?
Okay. And then you're going to have the usual plants and planters and things like that
We'll
there?
have
to
barricades.
sort of-
I don't know if we're going to bring up
as-
the big planters. That they didn't plant them this year because of everything that was going on. But we'll certainly work with Public Works and get up I know they've got some extra of those white barricades that they purchased
Yeah.
for the for the dining, so we could use some of those.
Yeah, if you can just, they don't have to be tight, but just enough so that people just don't turn. That's all.
Right, right.
And this would be in the area formerly known as the pop-up park,
Yes,
right, Tucker?
yeah. I've had a
All
lot
right.
of requests to open the pop-up park again this year, but not
We're not going there tonight. All right, so the request is from 4 to 8 on July 2nd with a rain date of Friday, July 3rd. Same thing, 4 to 8. And motion to approve.
I move to approve.
All right, Shikaiba, second.
Approved.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, aye. Great, excellent. All right, good luck with this.
Thanks. Hillary, we'll be talking tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey,
Thank
Tucker,
you. Look,
you'll let
Tucker-
the adjoining merchants know that are going to be
Sorry?
affected by it?
We'll certainly let everybody know. I
Okay.
mean, we'll be letting them all know to take advantage of it. Even those that aren't necessarily part of Art in the Windows may want to just stay open too.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
and please, Hillary, and please just work with the chief on this. We don't need another meeting, but if there's any issues, just work them out with Leon.
Okay. Thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, next item, Chief, if you could walk us through the monthly reports, please.
Sure. Who's the host? Jennifer, are you the host?
Jennifer's. Yep.
Okay. Can you let me share screen? I'll bring it up.
Okay, one sec. See if you can do it now.
Yep, looks good. Hold on.
I see it.
Ah, so- Nice beach.
Aha.
Nobody on that beach.
Not yet. That's
Okay.
all.
Not yet.
UMass. That's about it. Okay, so reports. Let's see. Go through minutes.
Yep.
So the first report is our budget. So we should be at 91.63 through the end of May. We're currently at 85.20, so we're well under budget. But I expect that to catch up as finance starts processing more invoices toward the end of the month. But I'm still projecting we're going to be under budget by roughly 5%. So we're in good shape there. I don't really have any concerns about any lines. We'll need to move some money around towards the end of the month potentially to cover some lines that are a little short. But overall, I think we'll have an excess in our entire budget. So that's good news.
Okay.
Next is animal control.
Okay.
And that also is under budget. It's 78%. So probably
Right.
some adjustments there, but that looks to be under budget as well at the end of the year. So that's also good news. Next report I have, which you can see is monthly statistics. So what I'll highlight is a few incidents. So family disputes 17 versus 20. So that's fairly consistent. We haven't yet seen that big uptick that everybody was predicting for family disputes because of COVID, but they're saying that the calls to all the domestic violence centers have gone down dramatically. So that's not a good thing because people aren't reaching out for help, but our incidents are pretty consistent with what they were last year. Next one I'll highlight, which continues to frustrate me, is larceny from vehicles, 20
Yep.
versus 5. So that's a big increase. All of Fairfield County is getting hit pretty hard. And the reality is if you lock your car and you take your keys, they're not going to steal anything from you and they won't steal your car because their protocol is they'll check a driveway. If the car is unlocked, they'll steal from it. The car's got a key in it, they'll steal it then or come back and steal it. But otherwise, if the car is locked, they move on to a easier picking, so to speak. So everybody's getting hit by these people and they're likely from Bridgeport or Waterbury and they're an organized group. So I call them a gang. And they're young and reckless and don't think through and want to engage our officers in pursuits. So it continues to concern me, and I'm hoping our community gets it together and stops making it attractive for these people to come to our town. So we're working on a plan to try to interrupt that whole cycle. I think everybody in Fairfield County is frustrated with it too. Next incident I'll highlight is psychiatric problems, 23 versus 9. So that's a big increase. And that, I believe, is certainly related to COVID issues and the stress of isolating and being indoors, and underlying behavioral health issues that people have are kind of coming out and causing them to ask for help, which is good because we like to help and provide assistance whenever we can. Next one I'll highlight is 8 versus 3 stolen vehicles. So same groups are coming in town and they're all keys in the vehicle. This isn't years ago where they were hot wiring vehicles. This is so easy that anyone can steal a vehicle. So I'm hoping that our community will come together and stop leaving their keys in their cars and their cars unlocked.
When you say it's easy to steal a vehicle, you mean if someone's left the keys?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's all these instances. They're not hot
there's no
wiring
broken-
vehicles.
Yeah, right.
It's the keys in the car, and they get in the car and push the button and they're on their way. And they're generally just joyriding. There's no criminal enterprise, but sometimes they commit other crimes with these vehicles, but they're not keeping the vehicles or selling them. They'll use them for a day or two, typically, and dump them in the city somewhere, Waterbury, Bridgeport, up in that area, and then they'll get recovered at some point by us. So it's a game of sorts, and I think it's something that they do for fun, and it continues to frustrate us. But we're working on something to try to impact it a little bit differently.
Okay.
Next report I have is false alarm aging. And after our last meeting, I did contact the CFO and brought his attention to a pretty substantial amount of money that's over 120 for alarms and also for extra duty, which I'll talk about next. So I know he's working on it, and there's a couple of notes here about appeals or paid. So, and we recently got them some information they needed to try to better collect these fines. So I know that fine collection was stayed during COVID, but now that things are kind of opening up again, they're opening up their collections again. So hopefully we'll see more progress towards those collections, alarm fines specifically. Next, extra duty aging report there. They did collect a fair amount of money recently. You can see those notes there, but there's still a lot that's outstanding, 129,000, more than 120 days. And the explanation I got, which I think was a protocol issue, which they should have done it differently, is they weren't collecting even these accounts during COVID, which they should have been, because these are commercial accounts.
Right.
So it doesn't make any sense. So that's I think why you see that huge lag over 120 is no one was asking them to pay, so they weren't paying. So I'm hoping next month you'll see more caught up collections, but and I'll continue to remind them to do that.
Okay.
Next report I have is our staffing report, which you should all have a copy of.
Yep.
And that shows a 26.48% time lost for May 2020. That's compared to 39% and 39.33 and 39.93 2 years prior. So that's good. We're seeing less time lost, and also a minimum shift of 35, which is the 38.80%. So that's a positive number. So our staffing is getting up to where it should be, because now all officers are trained and on their own, aside from our newest officer who's still in the virtual police academy, but we're expecting him to graduate early July, and then he'll be in field training for 3 months. And so our staffing is improving and gotten a lot better than what it was. So I'm continuing to be happy about our staffing levels, which are continuing to improve and get better. And we still have that officer pending that we're going to probably bring on board and get sworn in towards the end of July, that we interviewed last month or earlier this month, whenever that was. And that'll bring us up to full complement. So that's certainly good news, and no indication that anybody's retiring anytime soon. So maybe our staffing levels will be stable for a while.
Okay.
That's that. And let's see what else we have here. Topics for discussion, go back to that.
Yeah. COVID-19.
COVID-19. So, things are getting better. I think locally and statewide, things are opening up. We're seeing less cases and less intensity in that regard. And our officers are all healthy. We got plenty of PPE. Our processes that are working, that are in place. We just kind of need to be a little more diligent and continue the diligence for a while until this truly subsides, which might be a few more months, hopefully. But everything's good in that regard and no real concerns. I think we've managed it as well as we could, and we've been lucky in some regards, but so far so good.
Right. You haven't run short of anything. I mean, Andy's done a great job. Everybody else, they've gotten all the supplies that you pretty much needed,
Yep.
after with a lot of scrambling. I mean, this wasn't, going down to Home Depot and getting a box of stuff. It was a lot of work.
Exactly.
And we recommend that. So, thank you.
Yeah, it was good work by Andy and everyone else, and the whole department really has been collectively working together to try to deal with something no one's ever dealt before in their lifetime. So kudos to everybody in the department and everybody's great work and the risks they take and the work they do. That's much appreciated by the town across the board. So I think we're unique in that respect, that a lot of communities don't like their police department and don't like the work that they do and don't appreciate it. But I think we're unique and special in a lot of ways. And I think I get frustrated when people are lumping in our department with other departments throughout the nation when we're just much different, and we're much more professional and well regarded than a lot of other agencies are. So that's something we should be all proud of.
Right. Okay. Building renovation update.
Yeah, I mean, I know Andy, you could jump in. The final report for the analysis that was done came out. I think it's pending some revisions, but there's really nothing there, cost sharing or resource sharing, that's going to save us any money. And we really need to move forward with our renovation, contingent on all kinds of things that are happening in the town, finance-wise and obligations. But certainly what we found is that renovating our existing structure is the best option right now. And we know generally what it's going to cost. We have a good plan. We're ready to move forward. We just kind of have to get our elected officials and other folks on board and move that plan forward.
Okay. All right. I'll put a call into Kevin tomorrow.
Yeah, just to jump in here, Andrew here. Nothing's changed as far as the WestCog since the last meeting in May when I briefed you guys. Other than the date for revisions was last Friday, the 12th.
Basically, it's over for WestCog, right? There aren't any more meetings really scheduled, right?
No, they should be forwarding a final report to the first selectman, I would guess this week or next.
Excellent. All right, then that puts that behind us, and now we can move forward. The idea, my thought is, put a building committee together, and then, just advance the ball from there. So, okay, good. Because that was the whole.
Yeah, that was a delay that probably was unnecessary in some ways. But am I correct, Andrew, that the one thing that we were thinking that might make sense is a shared firing range, but that they didn't really even address that in their report?
Not really. They kind of pushed it off and said that the Fairfield County Police Training Officers Association should be the one to spearhead that, and that they should be doing research into that and finding a location and getting more agencies involved in sharing the area. So no, it wasn't specifically addressed. They just kind of gave it off to FCPTOA, who I contacted, and they said they would like a facility like that in the area, but no work has been done on that, and it hasn't been on their agenda for any time in remembrance, nor is it going to be on their agenda as far as they're concerned right now, unless someone brought it.
We just need to be sure that that doesn't create some additional delay. Someone doesn't say, hey, we have to wait for them to come up with an idea.
No, they're not. It's not on their agenda. So I could answer that for you. Right now, they have not put it on their agenda, and they're not intending to, unless if they, in the future sometime, created a committee, that would be off in the distance.
And so as we move forward, would we be anticipating having our own firing range?
That's a question for discussion. I think the chief could chime in on that one. The current structure of our building, from what we were given by the last architect that we had plans from, said that that would not work, that we wouldn't be able to fit a range in here that would be long enough for our officers to qualify to post standard, due to the fact that we have the elevator shaft that we had to put in for, well, per standard, for building standards, that we had to have an elevator in the building. And now that's in a position where they had to put it that you just can't fit a range in there that's long enough.
All right, so I just want to be sure we don't get delayed over this, you know?
No, I think that if we did, the chief brought up, but he could chime in, creating a public-private partnership in the future, if we could find a particular location for that, for an off-site range, but that one inside our current structure would not work.
Yeah, I mean, given the cost and benefit of a range, a public-private partnership probably makes the most sense, and I think we could generate a lot of support for it in funding, and a shared use model that's similar to what Ridgefield has, and it'd make a lot of sense if we could find the right spot for it and we could create the right structure or organize all that. And so that's probably plan B after we get plan A, which means our renovation off the ground. Then we can figure out a range space and where that might make sense and benefit the whole town.
Correct. Good. Okay. Agreed. Item D, letters of appreciation.
Always one of the favorite aspects of our meeting, certainly a very eloquent note and thoughtful from a gentleman that Sergeant LaTourette, Lieutenant DeFelice, and Officer Blank responded to his residence and provided assistance there. And he commented their quick response and calm professionalism is very much appreciated. And so thank you to that gentleman for that very thoughtful and kind note.
Of course.
And I did pass that along to the officers, and that is in their personnel file. So they're very appreciative of that person's thank you.
Sure.
And another note for Sergeant Milligan, Officer Mazzano, Officer Sprost, Officer Callahan, and Officer Gibson for handling a quote unquote urgent matter at the mobile gas station. And Maria Keene, who's one of the managers or owners of the gas station, said the officers were super efficient and responded super quick. So thanks to them for their good work and professionalism and getting a nice note back from that. We always like to see that.
Great.
That's all
Okay. There is one other just bit of it's more housekeeping.
Yep.
And it has to do with the vote we took in a special meeting regarding the modifications on the streets for the restaurants, and that we put in a 30-day renewal process to it. So what I'd like to do is then just take a vote to renew it for another 30 days, just so that we are all in agreement, so that nobody comes back to us and says, hey, you never even approved, you didn't reapprove this, right? So I would like a motion to reapprove from our special meeting the ability for the restaurants to have the special structures out on the street so that they can serve on the sidewalks. All right. And Jennifer, if you could just sort of clean up that motion a touch when you write it up, but it's just a renewal of that to go out another 30 days till our next meeting.
Sure.
Move to
So can I have
renew
a
for 30 days?
Yeah, I would renew it for another 30 days.
Yep. So moved.
Oh, shoot, that's my car. My car burglar alarm just went off. It's,
Uh-oh. There's a guy running.
it's got a, let me just,
Did you leave your keys in?
seconds.
He's got a big bag of, somebody's running with a big bag of gold.
Uno momento. Sorry, guys.
Hopefully your golf clubs aren't in it.
No, it's just a shortage.
And no, we didn't set this up. Pure coincidence.
I can hear it here. I'm right behind the police
Don't worry,
station.
Paul's fine. No crime is occurring. All good.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. It's been in the shop a couple times and it comes back with a short or something. All right, sorry about that. All right, so we're good on that. We all those in favor of that motion?
In favor. Yes.
James, okay. Good, all right, that takes care of that. Any other matters for the public session?
Nope,
Okay.
just
I
a
don't-
bulletin for your reading pleasure, and then executive session.
Right, so if we could go into executive session at 6:30?
Sure, let me just stop the
6:32?
recording.
6:32, great, thanks. Okay,